Hello, everybody, and welcome to Roll20 Presents a bunch of words, but the most important ones, Descent into Avernus. Hello, welcome. It's a new episode. We're going to play Dungeons & Dragons, but before we do, we're going to hang out and bullshit for a while. So, sit down and shut up. It's time for bullshit. Not you. You have to, don't make that face, Soren. You have to talk. You're the one that has to do the talking. The audience has to shut up.
You told me to stop talking.
No, not you. Them. I'm not talking to you.
I mean, theoretically, they don't have to shut up because there's
That's
no audio
true.
feed of the audience. They could be yelling as loud as they want. We don't hear it.
Well, you say that, but actually for today's episode and for all future episodes, I've installed a text-to-speech box so that everything that gets said in chat will become audio for the stream. So, yeah, I think it'll really improve the immersive quality of playing a role-playing game in front of an audience. It'll be like Shakespearean theater. They'll all just get to yell at us. It'll be fine. It's good.
I think I quit instead of that.
I think I might also quit. I think maybe we're done. It was a bad idea. It's fine.
New Twitch feature there.
It's fine. Yeah, it's cool. That would be the worst. I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard, but it would be like a literal nightmare. It would be the worst.
God. Twitch introducing the back seat. Join this chat channel if you'd love to get your opinions heard.
It's fine.
Just make sure to subscribe.
I would just turn it on emote only mode.
Except that it would say the name of the emote over and over and over.
He's be like, blooge this, blooge this.
DNT.
Blooge. How does it pronounce blooge? Have you put it through a thing yet? Does it say
I think it's just blooge. Yeah, it does a pretty good job. It's not like it's phonetically appropriate.
Blooge. Blooge.
Surprising.
Blooge,
That would be if it was 10DGE.
Yeah. B1
I wanted to apologize in advance. My camera capture, my cam link is broken, so I might just freeze. And I will fix it as soon as possible. I'm so sorry for
it's cool. It
technology
happens.
being a thing.
Yeah,
that's what happens when you're a winter person. Sometimes you just freeze.
It's true. Also, it's November's month.
Happy November.
It's basically her birthday this whole time.
It's the whole month of November. So it's like a Blue Jay birthday where it's
let's
the whole
all celebrate
month beforehand, right?
Let's all just go ahead and celebrate Blue Jay's Dungeons and Dragons character's made-up birthday. Let's do that
instead of Adam's real birthday that happened 3 days ago. I'm into it.
Yeah,
whatever. Real birthdays.
I do, and I like this. I like the idea of, and this kind of goes back to Gary's admonition in the Dungeon Master's Guide of AD&D, where it was like, all caps, if you don't keep a calendar of your role-playing game, you have failed as a dungeon master. But I will say, like, I do like the idea of knowing what day it is in universe so that you can interject things like holidays, like Saint Swithin's Day or whatever, right? To be like, Dragon Heist did a bunch of this, but like just knowing what day it is, you can be like, oh, it's Tuesday. I mean, even Tolkien did this, though. For some reason, Middle Earth has the same calendar as us. Like Bilbo's birthday was in September, right? Or whatever. So it's cool to be able to do that, to be like,
listen, sometimes you just reach the limit of your creativity, okay?
You can invent an entire language.
You come up with an entire language, and then you invent an entire world based around the language that you invented. But once...
Yeah, hey, JRR, how do you say donut vendor in the Black Tongue of Mordor? Well, you see, like... Really, the old closest translation is circular cake seller, but this is how you'd say it in Quenya. But no, naming months, coming up with 12 independent names for months, sure, no. I think also the thing was that Middle Earth is Earth. That was his whole thing, right? Where he was like, I found this book about hobbits, and I'm gonna translate it for you or whatever. So yeah.
I mean, is it really worse than the month naming in the Forgotten Realms? Because that's absolute bullshit.
They're great. Do not talk shit about the terrible calendar of the Forgotten Realms
or whatever.
Flame roll.
Yeah,
that was the coolest one. All the rest.
Floon's Day 2.
Marpinoff.
The third Floon's Day. Yeah. Yeah. The days of the week, and I keep trying to find this. The days of the week in Ravnica are worse. Like, I would happily take the calendar of Harptos over the incredibly silly, like, and they're like If I remember them correctly, they're basically just like the days of the week, but they're said funny or like spelled weird, like Slurder Day instead of Saturday. Yeah, they're pretty good. It's pretty good. Don't even get me started on Zibs and Xenos.
Oh yeah, that's a whole. Yeah.
Coinage is the best when it's not in the metric system. When it takes like 4 throbs to make
You want to talk about the worst coinage
Are we gonna
system
talk about
in
galleons?
history? Yeah, exactly. It's Harry Potter's coinage system.
It's the worst. It's like prime numbers.
I don't. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't want to like give
Here it
J.K.
comes.
Rowling any credit because fuck her. But have you heard of shillings and the previous system before the pound? It's not like England.
Yes.
It's not like she made that up. She just stole it from a system that previously didn't make sense.
I feel like her and Neil Gaiman have this in common where part of their writing protocol is like, it's like England, but more English.
Yes.
Like whatever I do, it's more English than actual England. But it's going to feel pretty English to you.
Isn't there in the Hitchhiker's Guide, isn't there a currency that have these galaxy-sized gold triangles? And like, I don't remember exactly what it is, but there's something about people being billionaires in it, but no one can carry all the currency.
Yeah, well, I think that's true of Douglas.
Yeah.
I think that's true of Douglas Adams as well, where his thing, him and Terry Pratchett both, they're the same, but they're like,
They're the
it's
best.
England, but silly.
So here's the thing: having grown up in England, like 90% of the novelty in the Harry Potter books do not exist. Like when you're a prefect, you're like, oh, being a prefect fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You're just here to do the dirty work for the teachers.
Yeah, unless you're Ford Prefect, and then it's pretty good.
Yeah. Then it's named after.
Then it's
you.
fine. It's a whole other situation.
God damn, that was a good tie-in. I'm just gonna
found
say.
my-
I mean,
I
that's
found my prefect badge the other day. I'm trying to find it again. I can't remember where I put it.
We had
Yeah, well,
prefect
super.
ties. And
I
then
just,
we
I
had
think this is a
prefect
thing, and the reason why this always comes up, right, where we always talk about like what day of the week is it and what month is it and stuff in role-playing games, is that coming up with a calendar for your world is actually like kind of a cool part of world building and is more important than like, to me, I think a calendar or like seasons or cultural like events and stuff, language, those kinds of things are way more important to a fantasy setting than like, how does the magic work?
I am the exact opposite.
Really?
I
No, I
don't
love
give
that
a fucking
stuff.
flying crap about your calendar.
Oh,
I
no.
care about all the other stuff.
It depends on whether it's, I think it depends on whether it's a campaign setting or whether it's fiction. If it's a setting, that's all I care about is the minute detail of everyone's day-to-day life. Like, what is it like to be a person in this setting? If it's a novel, I'm less interested. Like George R.R. Martin can get the hell out of here with his like, I'm going to spend 45 pages describing a tart to you. Like, I'm not
If
I'm
I
not
need
here
to
for
know
that.
what time of year it is so that I know what temperature it is, and you say January, I know where we're at. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
that's great. I love that. Don't fuck it up with other shit. Like, it's
I've-
unnecessary.
I've done both. Like as a GM, I've built like calendars and I've renamed stuff and the players never remember. And then I don't remember. And then I just end up having to convert it all into like what our calendar is. So I just do the like, it's just we're just translating.
Yeah, I
never
mean,
get it right.
it's a tool, right? It's a world building
Yeah.
tool, and sometimes you want
Sure.
to use it, and sometimes you don't. I find it useful because not so much about like telling the players what day it is, like because you don't want to be. This is a horrible DM position to be in, to be like, you rise from your long rest and you look over your calendar, you realize it's the 6th of Marpanoth, and they're like, okay, great, so what?
Cool.
You're like,
What
the
does that
6th
mean?
of Marpanoth, and they're like, this
Uh-huh.
clearly means something to
Mustard
you.
yellow rose.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one?
Right, exactly. It's only the same thing where you're like, well, cool, you just missed all of the hints that I was playing, so I guess I'll just tell you this is the day that celebrates when the king was whatever. So there, rather than that, I like calendars in the same reason I like language, in that I think it says something about the culture that invented it that could be useful, right? Like what languages, what words are in different languages. Like when I had this happen in Court of Swords where someone was like, I want to tell them not to worry about it, and the only language we share is infernal. And I'm like, you can't. And they're like, why not? And I'm like, because that's not a concept you can explain in infernal. Like, if you want to tell them you're going to rip their skin off, infernal's got you covered. It's got the language for that. But
Yeah.
There just aren't words for these things.
You think Infernal would be able to tell you not to worry about it, but not sincerely.
Not sincerely. Yeah, it would have to
tell
be
you
like
not to worry about it, like
threatening.
Sign on the dotted line and don't worry about it.
Yeah, right. And that's the kind of thing that gets me going about that stuff. Where you're like, okay, like what would a culture that only speaks Infernal be like? What could they communicate or not communicate, and how would that affect the way they behave? That stuff's so cool. It's why I think
that's different than saying the calendar.
Well, right, but the calendar is a reflection of the culture that invented it, right? But as Chat pointed out, the calendar in the Forgotten Realms would be incredibly complex because there's so many gods and they all have like their own full calendar of holy days and stuff.
Oh man.
Which is like
the thing for me with tracking time in like a days of the week sort of way is like if you have a character when we were doing Tomb of Annihilation and we had the hex crawl, but just keeping track of time in that way, I find that very interesting because like the idea of things being like scarcity, tracking scarcity. If you have like in Vampire the Masquerade, when like every morning when you wake up, you have to make a check to see if you're like hungry, and how that kind of, if you're only playing like, oh, I don't know, like it's been like a week, do one of these things, like you're not really accurately keeping track of how like bloodthirsty these creatures are if you're not actually having time pass, right?
Yeah.
But it sucks when you do it in D&D. I hate it then. I hate long rests. I hate 24-hour days.
Yeah.
But when it's in this other game that I get to control it, then I like it.
I mean, it's a good point, right? Time passing has to mean something, and I think that like if your players are interested and invested in like the calendar being a thing. In Swansong, we kept track of the exact date because ship payments were due on the 1st of every month. And if they didn't have the money to make the payment, I had to know what day it was to be like, you're 13 days in arrears on your ship payment. That's going to change the flow of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, calendar systems. It's like a tiny little thing that you don't often think about when you're putting together your D&D game. But occasionally I find it very, very useful, very interesting, whether it's Marpnoth or September accordingly. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of things that you do in November, though, good luck to everyone doing National Novel Writing Month. I thought about doing it, and now it's the 4th, and I'm not doing it. Is what I decided.
Good decision.
Yeah, that's a good call. How does it work? It's like what, 2,000? You're supposed to write 2,000 words a day?
I think it's like
1,667 words a day.
Words a day, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Which you were doing last month, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I could do that. I could easily
do
that.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I did it once, I think 6 years ago. I tried it and I actually like committed to it, and I got to like 30,000 words. So I was pretty proud of that. I still have it printed out in my closet. Like a stack like this.
Well, the idea is that you do it and you just write. You don't like try to edit or adjust or do anything with it. You just make it and you're like, there we go. Okay. Yeah. I feel like that wouldn't be that hard. I feel like just generating words.
I mean, but you don't really like
spewing my garbage onto a page.
Well, because that's what it is, right? And then you go back and then you actually turn it into something, right? Like if it's the garbage generator and then you try to make it something good.
The part for me that like stalls me is the part in the beginning where it's like, what do you write about? And I'm like, and then I just never do it.
Mm-hmm. Or if you're Stephen King, you just do that and then no one ever looks at it and you just make it into a book and people buy it. So it's fine. You don't even, if you're a famous enough writer, you don't even need a second draft. You just put it in an envelope and mail it to your publisher and they'll be like, thanks, buddy. Check's on the way. That's what we all want.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
That's what I've heard. I heard writing's really easy. And then HBO sends you $10 million and they turn your book into a show.
You don't even have to finish your book series. You can just sell it.
Yeah. I didn't realize that there are still two more Game of Thrones Song of Ice and Fire books that are supposed to come out.
My prediction, George Martin will be dead before we get those books.
Did you hear that thing about how there was a whole rigmarole on Twitter about how the screenwriters or something of HBO had like zero experience before they got hired to do Game of Thrones, and they were just like totally open about how they were like, yeah, we had no idea what we were doing. They just hired us and gave us all this money, and that was cool. And then like every woman in the universe was like, wow, wouldn't that be great? Gee.
I think I think the thing is, and this is the way I have seen fantasy like writing going, is that there is like a secondary fantasy like industry, fantasy author industry of authors who are there to pick up the ball when the main author drops it due to being dead. Right, like this is
the Dune, like
what's his name?
Like the child's obligation.
Yeah.
I mean, multiple people's children have finished.
Sanderson, Brandon Sanderson. He's that guy. He's like, are you gonna die? Are you gonna die of something? You got an unfinished fantasy series? I am on it. I will write.
Got it.
I will write the last 2 books of whatever series you want. Are you Robert Jordan? On it. Are you Frank Herbert? On it. No problem. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good gig if you can get it, right? Just get ready to like jump in there.
It's turning your fanfic into real fic.
Yeah, right. Well, that's the thing is,
awesome.
it's like he's a good writer too. So it's like, yeah, it's interesting, and I think that's kind of a thing where like you turn the book over to somebody else and like, what if they do a better job? What if you're like, well, Brandon Sanderson,
doesn't matter. They're dead.
Yeah, that's right. You just go to their grave and you're like, thanks for all the money, corpse.
Oh man, that's really good.
Yeah.
So I love that. I feel like that's how Gideon the Ninth started too. The author who just put out Gideon the Ninth started as a fanfic writer.
Yeah.
And it's just like you write, and eventually you get like pretty good. You know, it doesn't matter if the ideas to start off aren't like your own original ideas.
Was Gideon the Ninth originally also Twilight fanfic, or
we'll never know.
Well, what's amazing is that's fanfic as well. Like Twilight is.
Yeah,
it's
right.
A circle of fanfic.
Well, and no, I love when people, because this happens sometimes in RPG circles where people are like, oh, this is like just a hack of another game, or like, oh, why isn't this like its own unique system? And I'm like, let's just talk about Counter-Strike and League of Legends and for whatever you think of it, 50 Shades of Grey, like massive piles of money. They're just hacks of other things. So. That's how it goes. Yeah, and then to the point of chat, all the ancient classics are fanfic. You ever heard of the Renaissance? It's all just Bible fanfic.
Have you ever read Shakespeare?
That's my favorite is like art museums. They're all just Jesus fanfic or like Jesus fan art. Like that's all it is.
Yeah. You ever read Shakespeare? Well, he took some old Greek stuff and was like, all right, some fic about this.
Well, and
now
the thing with a lot of that like late medieval, like Renaissance art too, is it's biblical self-insert fanfic, right? It's like, the Pope paid me a bunch of money to draw the ceiling of this chapel, and so I just put his face on Jesus's hot bod, and here we go. So it's fine. We just
good.
I got
He'll
paid.
Definitely say yes to this.
Like honestly, there are people out there who have like art Patreons or like do commissions where you could just mail them and be like, I need a picture of Soldier 76, but with my face on him and he's shirtless, and they'd be like, here you go, no problem. Nothing has changed since the Renaissance. Exactly the same model. I love it.
Yeah. You just hit up Michelangelo on Twitter and ask for commission prices. What are your rates for like a chapel?
Yeah, right? The problem is though,
I have like a chapel I need painted.
Yeah, but Michelangelo's got like a waiting list that's several years long.
The real
so you find all his copycats.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
The real issue
totally
is
people that can paint in
Michelangelo's
style.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't DM him until he adds you back on Twitter.
You got to be mutuals with Michelangelo. Yeah.
The one thing that they all did wrong, though, is they weren't doing more furry art, because I hear that pays incredibly well.
Yeah.
I have some friends
imagine
who
that in
would
the Renaissance.
definitely say, yes, that is true. 100%. Dave, you are correct.
I just know these things.
What if, okay, here you go. Here's an episode of Sliders for you. So they slide into another dimension, and the difference between our dimension and this new dimension they go to is that the Renaissance was all fan art of the Bible, but furries.
That's it.
That's it. That's the only difference. What if
difference.
everyone in the Renaissance was a furry fan artist who did biblical furry art? How would that change? Hundreds of years later, how would that change our culture?
How explicit is this fan art? Is the real
See, here's the
question.
thing. Guaranteed it happened. and they're just not the ones that people save in museums.
I don't think there's a secret
feel
anti-furry Renaissance conspiracy. I don't think so.
There's some pretty weird stuff like in the like illuminations of various books that the monks did. I guarantee you we can
what's his
find
name?
some furry art.
Hieronymus Bosch, right? Like there's some fucking weird vor shit going on in his work, but I wouldn't say that there's like a secret hidden furry Renaissance that we missed. We're living in it.
What is this conversation?
We know that there's definitely like tentacle porn, like hentai.
Yeah.
That so like.
Well, okay, hold on. So you're shifting the premise slightly.
Okay,
so
wait.
this alternate universe is that everyone is like a massive furry, and as a result, culture has shifted. Like I was thinking specifically Catholicism, but yes, if we just apply across the board that there was this like massive upswell in early Renaissance, late classical furry art. The problem is nobody knew how to draw an animal to begin with, so it would be a lot of like those weird dolphins.
Maybe that's that they were trying and they just never had seen an animal before, and so we.
You there,
like, babies are just
what is
tiny
your name?
adults.
My
That's
name is
how
Horatius the Illuminator, sir. Horatius the Illuminator, I need you to draw me a picture. Shall it be of our Lord Christ, sir? No, it shall not. It shall be of a hot dolphin having sex with this goat. I've never seen a dolphin or a goat before, sirrah. Just draw it like you would a man, but put some fur on it. I don't know. Just listen, I'm just gonna look at it alone in my parlor later. It doesn't have to be scientifically accurate. Yes, sir, as you wish.
I'm just imagining every like terrible cat painting in like
so bad.
Yeah, right?
But like you then apply that globally to this like phenomenal furry like landslide of art.
There is a long running amazing history of bad Renaissance art of babies. Where it's like
that's my favorite.
A baby in the Renaissance, and I think they were actually drawing accurately, but that we've just changed. We look different as people now. But Renaissance drawings of babies were just like fat, angry little men. Like they were just angry old men with big muscles, like fully adult muscles, but
It's like
tiny.
Most women in the painting were just like men with boobs on them. Like they were clearly, most of this art was made by people that had never seen babies.
Well, and now it's just making me think that like a bunch of like Flemish dweebs sitting around being like, I've got to draw a painting. Someone model for me. And somebody else gets up and they put on the sexy bathrobe and they get their paper mache boobs and they just put them like wherever they kind of think they might go in the chest area. Like the breasts are here below the chin, I believe, attached to the neck and collar. And they're like, yeah, sure, that seems good. Let me just make a cool painting. Anybody have a baby? No? All right, Grandpa, get in there. Put on the diaper.
I have a new theory, actually. That the idea that we're all in the Matrix, part of like a representation of like a digital recreation of another world. And everything did look like that in the past. Now drawing accurately because it was running on worse hardware.
Oh, I see.
So in the same way that we see video games in the past 30 years, they just were working on a larger scale project and learning to do 3D modeling over the past like.
So we just have a different art director for this patch.
Yeah.
Back when it was ancient Egypt, they only had it was all 2D side scrollers.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, this is a long-standing tradition in human culture. This idea of if we can imagine it but not do it, we will make dirty drawings to help us better imagine the thing we can't do. And that's just how art works. So cool. Well, speaking of people who are into weird things, should we continue exploring the house of these lovely nobles?
I'm sure we're not going to find any weird cat drawings.
Yeah, what an unusual pre-show that was. Thanks for coming, everybody. Welcome to the episode.
Sorry, not sorry.
I mean, this is the kind of thing that people who play a lot of role-playing games end up talking about. These are the sorts of conversations that are happening at tables in parents' basements all throughout this fine world of ours.
I definitely think if we polled the chat and we talked about who has talked about the alternate furry reality of Renaissance art in their D&D groups before, that would come up like 99 times out of 10.
I think it's probably more common than you think, right? Like anytime anyone has ever made a Tabaxi character, I guarantee there has been at least a minor conversation about furries and furryisms. It's a given. I think it just happens.
If you make a Kenku, do you have the same conversation?
I think that mammals are a much easier hurdle to get over. I don't think I was thinking about that about Sathra. Somebody out there is very excited about the idea of a snake lady, but I think more people are probably yes, exactly.
No,
be the snake you want to see in the world.
Definitely reptile and bird furries.
Yeah, but they're less common, right? In that
they're just
way.
harder to cosplay.
Yeah.
They're just harder to cosplay. There's just less suits for that.
That's fair.
Someday anyone will be able to be whatever type of furry they want to be.
So what you're saying is that eventually Dungeons and Dragons graphic, eventually their designers are going to realize wait a second, we need to make all these characters easy to cosplay and hot to think about having sex with. So we're introducing a new race. They're like Warforged, but they're made out of latex. And then here's another race. It's the Owl Daddy. You can play as them. They start with leather armor and a hat.
Don't talk about Humblewood like that, Adam.
I'm just saying, there's a vector here. We tried it once, and instead we got the book of Eternal Darkness or whatever it was called. So
it was the book of Vile Darkness?
Vile Darkness. That's right. The book of lascivious handjobs. What a strange time in role-playing games that
opens the door.
Can we move on?
So meanwhile, here we are. It's the 4th of Marpenoth.
Oh god.
And we are attempting some actual skullduggery. We are beginning some recon operations that don't involve fireballing everyone in the house. And so far, y'all have gotten over the wall, across the yard, into the house. You've dealt with the guards. You've dealt with the staff inside the house by way of some sleep magic. There is an unconscious cat on the counter, and you are making your way through this room. So I
believe the current action is whapping people on the head.
Yes, yeah. So we're turning the sleep spell, which is only going to last a little while, into the you are now unconscious for 1d4 hours spell, which is to say hitting them really hard in the head. Or I guess choking them out also works, but it takes time. So, yeah.
I was informed of different ways. You can knock people out by choking them really quickly.
Yeah.
Wait,
apparently.
Why?
Yeah,
Doesn't it take 2 minutes?
No.
Well, if you want to kill them, I think it does. But I think cutting off the airflow isn't maybe too difficult if you get your arm around their neck.
I mean, it depends on their constitution score.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is here, if we wanted to be realistic about this, and I even cared about Fendrick, Ambra, Sarvinder, and Gaborni, if I cared about any of those nerds, I would probably be making constitution checks and that kind of thing to see if you accidentally strangle them. But I think right now it's more a question of just seeing if you get this handled in enough time.
I know that one of them is unconscious.
Yes,
I do not remember which.
Yeah, your friend Rhea has dragged one of the unconscious bodies and basically put it into bed. We're gonna
the one that you are in front of, both of those are just sleeping, and the one I'm in front of is also just sleeping, and I was in the process of pulling it back into the room.
All right.
There's a Ferris Bueller situation here where you're gonna basically put them all in bed and then lock the door and hope that they just stay there. But mechanically, it'll give you at least an hour to explore before any of these people wake up. Though if somebody goes calling for them, that might accelerate that.
Yeah, what's his name's not going to come downstairs.
And that becomes the question, right? Yeah, how lazy do you believe that Thirstwell Van Thamper, who weakly, anemically, if you will, called from upstairs for a sandwich, which the chef was going to deliver before being knocked out?
From my understanding of unconsciousness, calling for them or even just shaking them won't wake them up.
If they're knocked unconscious this way, no, this is combat unconscious. This is the kind of unconsciousness that is very dangerous for you to be you're getting hit in the head hard enough to tap your brain against your skull and knock you out. It's not good for your brain. But again, we don't care about these commoners.
That concerned about them, I can lay on hands 1 hit point for each,
which would wake them up. Unfortunately,
I can tell you 100%. Sathra does not give a shit.
Yeah, of course.
Kill them if it were more convenient.
Yeah, actually, it's the whole game derails into another thing where you're forced to go to their funeral, and it's very sad and like, yeah, it's this
And
whole
then
tragic nightmare.
Someone digs a tunnel into a.
All right, so
Sorry.
make your. I guess we'll begin here with. I think we were doing basically like the group going all in an order, and I was checking with the guards to see if they noticed anything. But I think at this point, like, unless you make noise, we're just tracking the sleep spell and
Yeah.
to see if Thirstwell comes downstairs. So Sathra, you are the other thing that's worth doing here is that if you can't deal enough damage to knock them out, you might wake them up by hitting them.
100%. I will always deal.
Which is why
Assuming they're all
wasn't.
commoners. Yes.
Assuming they're all commoners.
Yeah, you're assuming how many hit points they have. If any of them were in disguise or shapeshifted or something.
That's true. If they're like a doppelganger or whatever.
yeah,
But
they
I
might have
also
more
don't
hit
think
points.
sleep would knock them out if they were.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
All right.
So you're gonna open the door, Bryn. I'm gonna have everybody. Let's just have everybody go kind of on the Sathra's turn in the order, just to kind of keep track of how many turns have passed. So let's pop that door open for you. There you go. Okay, so Bryn, you can see beyond the door there are stairs, stairs that go down. In fact, yeah.
We wanted to go into the basement. That
Yeah,
works.
a
You wanna go
brick-walled
down.
staircase. It also contains, sitting in the corner, a barrel of some kind. It's like
And-
a weight heist round
Okay,
barrel.
these two here are windows, right?
Yes.
that wall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
With-
And
with the
like I
blank.
said before, all of the windows in here, except these ones, all the windows you've seen so far, which I guess were just the two in the other room that Sathra is near, have curtains over them. These ones have shutters. The shutters are closed, but there's no curtain hanging over them because it's
Okay.
right next to the
But they're windows, so I'm not.
Yeah, those are windows. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you open that door. You can see the stairs. And meanwhile, let's go through what everybody else is doing. So Siravo, what are you doing?
I, being a nerd, both in character and out of character,
True.
figure. Do I actually want to bother doing that? Because we could take the platter of food up and like knock on the door and leave it outside, because I bet that's the way that he prefers it. Like someone leaves and he
Like a tray.
He just creeps the door
the
and
arm
slides.
comes out.
Mm-hmm.
We could do that, but we don't know necessarily which room he's in. So I offer that as an idea. What do you think? We could take his food upstairs. We did catch it. Good job on the catching, by the way. I was doing that.
Right. I feel like that's asking for trouble. We don't know if there are more servants upstairs. We should just
That's
get
good.
this done as soon as possible and get into the basement.
Sathra,
I did find the stairs down.
I kind of agree.
Sathra, are you gonna attack somebody and knock him out?
Yeah, I bonk person to the south of my token.
That is the maid. That is the young woman who is dusting the statue.
I give him the old sword maneuver
Okay, and roll damage.
for 7 non-lethal damage.
All right. She was unconscious before, and now she's unconscious potentially with brain damage.
Yeah.
Dindar loves brain damage. So yeah, you just thunk.
Look, if they all live, I'm succeeding. in my-
Yeah, right. Okay.
All right, well, that's my move because I turn to look over the other one for the next turn.
Yeah.
I start to drag this one into the sleep room.
Okay.
Like-
Rhea is coming back from the other room.
Bryn will like.
So
head over
hang
there
on,
and
Blue
help
Jay.
with
Let's see how far you can get. So you start here, right?
Yeah.
So you need to go and pick this one up because this
No,
one's
I
not
was
asleep
going-
yet. I mean,
I was
asleep,
mo-
but
This
not.
one's asleep but not
I
unconscious.
For
was just
realist.
I was just trying to move it out of the hallway. Like she can knock it out as easily in the other room.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. All right. So you want to move? You can move half your move, drag the body back there, and then if all you're doing is moving, you could drag it again.
And like in the meantime, I would be like shh, like trying really hard. to be
Slowly
like-
just dragging the boots along the floor. Okay. All right. So that's your turn. Sathra, you can move, but I assume you're not going to.
Well, I gotta knock this other
Yeah.
person
Gotta
out.
get them on. Okay. And then so Siravo, do you want to move any more or take any other actions?
I will keep a lookout How are the stairs here? Where would the best place to stand to be to look if someone's coming down the stairs?
Yeah, so these
with a cat.
These stairs they go like this area. This is a banister, so you can see through it. So if you sit where you are right now, you can see all of the stairs except for maybe just like the top corner.
What about the cat?
The cat is sleeping in the kitchen, but it's still just a sleep spell, right?
Yes.
I'm not going to choke out a cat. I'm not going to hurt an animal like that, both in game and out of game.
I look over. I'm like, don't worry, I got it.
But yeah,
You gotta do something. Just like, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm keeping a lookout.
Yeah,
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, all right.
In case he does calm down.
So that one, Rhea.
Where is it?
Rhea moved. So she was here. Okay, and then what else do you want to do, Bryn? Because you had the free part of your move to open the door. Do you want to do anything else?
Lauren?
You said there was a barrel, right?
Yeah, just inside, like right.
She's gonna like. I may as well. I feel like you all have dragging the bodies into the room in hand, so
I'm just worried the cat's gonna wake up and start yowling.
Step into the room and look at the barrel.
It's okay. We hit it with the sleep spell after the commoners, so it should be fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
We'll just put it in a sack. Like I'm saying, please unlight this. If you're going to do something, just say you use your action.
Okay. All right. So there's a barrel. It isn't labeled. It has a like a cork in the top of it.
Is it like a sniff? Is it alcohol?
No. You don't smell anything except for like the smell of like damp wood. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, she'll check down the stairs. Like, does she hear anything, see anything?
Make a perception check.
Sure. Yes. 18. Wow. I actually rolled well.
Let's see if there's anything you'd be able to hear. I don't think so. Not from up here. You don't hear anything.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. All right. Good. Okay.
Sleep spell turn, I guess.
Yeah. So that's like 3 turns on the sleep spell so far.
Yep.
Okay. The guards continue their walking around outside.
Hut.
Yeah.
Hut.
Ooh-ee-oh. Okay. There you go. So they're all marching around outside. And now
I always thought they were saying the word Oreo, and like I know they weren't,
Delicious.
but I still can't get that out of my head.
Delicious.
Okay. All right. Sathra, you want to try to knock out this other one?
Bonk the next dork.
Okay. Haha. Make your roll.
Hey.
Okay. Definitely unconscious. Yep.
I could kill 3 commoners with that much damage.
Okay. All right. So they're both knocked out.
And then I leave them in this hallway and make my way towards my next target.
I think your victim target
over that way, I guess.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you can move like right here if you want.
Yeah.
You got enough room.
One more.
Okay. All right. Good. So then Rhea will go 15 feet here, and then another 5 back, and then another 15 back, dragging this body. Everybody's like, hurry up, come on, go, get him in the room, move him around. Like all of this is happening quietly and like everybody's shifting around. It's good. This is a good scene. Okay. Bryn, what do you want to do with your turn?
I'm not gonna go down the stairs without people, so she'll probably make her way back to help with body moving. Is there any out in the hallway that's still?
Yeah, there's.
I've got the last one.
Yeah,
Okay.
the maid still needs to be thrown.
I can
in
move
there.
it back 10 feet with the rest of my movement.
Cool. So 1, 2.
Oh, this is the maid?
Yeah.
I very carefully make sure that her skirts are tucked down.
I will help.
She has a big nasty bruise on the
Someone.
side of her head.
I guess I can probably. Yeah, I'll just.
Everybody else is being like relatively gentle. Sathra's like unconscious.
I mean, it's your job to literally pistol whip these people. So
D&D, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna use my turn to.
Okay. All right, and then Siravo, you're still
Keeping locked.
Yeah, I grabbed the sandwiches on the plate and I put them on I pushed them through the little gap so they're in the middle of the stairs, like in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Because then we'd hear that would serve as like a small alarm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna laugh my ass off when Thurstwell steps on the sandwich tray, falls down the stairs, and breaks his scrawny little neck.
Listen, we didn't kill all the Van Thempers. Thurstwell died of a fall. Okay, so Siravo, make a perception check for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have my familiar with me. Who would have better? How important is this? I'm going to roll myself 15. Please.
Okay, you're gonna take your 15.
I will.
So what's your total?
16.
Okay. All right. So everybody's like being quiet. You can hear the scrape of like boot heels on the floor as Rhea and November shift the bodies around. Upstairs, you hear some like shuffling around. And then you hear a door slowly like open just a little bit. Okay. So another round of sleep spell. And then let me make a note because it's been how long does it last? It lasts 10 rounds?
Yeah, 10 turns. Or
yes, 10.
Okay, it's been 4.
Okay.
Just to kind of keep everybody appraised. Because yeah, I like the idea. Like Siravo would probably be because Siravo, you know how long it lasts since you cast the spell, and wizards, part of their training is being able to like keep numbers counting in their head and stuff. So yeah, I feel like Siravo is calling out like we're running out of time, and everybody's moving around doing things. And okay, so the guards, just in case you make noise, I need to know where they are, so they continue to tromp around in the field. Okay, and then these ones.
Can you just imagine though if they're going their full movement speed around this house? They're just booking.
Yep. Okay, all right. So they've reset their little safety triangle
they're
here.
moving 60 feet every 6 seconds.
Yeah, they're moving 10 feet a second.
It's just like a sprint.
Yeah, 2 long strides every second. So they're just running around the house as fast as they can. That's
they're
fine.
creating a whirlwind, you know? Like,
yeah, exactly.
God,
okay.
Yeah, I was watching something. Like, you don't think about these things. Classic WoW characters run at 14 miles an hour.
Oh yeah, the fastest one of the
forever.
fastest
I was like,
characters, one of the fastest characters in anything is the guy from Doom. The Doom guy runs like 3 miles. He runs like 3 miles in a minute or something. Like he's extremely fast for how tall he is. Anyhow, so they basically what they're really doing is they're moving 30 feet and they're taking like a perception check. They were just dashing around to get their proper, like they have a triangle around the house that they do. And so they're just moving and looking around, just walking around, looking at stuff. Okay. All right. So, Sathra, you and the gang.
which of these 2 bedridden individuals does not have a bruise?
The one lying here, poor Fendrick.
I whap her or him. I don't really, it doesn't matter.
It's a him, and now he's unconscious.
23, 9 damage.
Okay, all right. You have knocked all of these guys out. They're all unconscious.
What kind of food we got laying around in this kitchen?
It's a fairly well-stocked kitchen.
Because like they were making like a sandwich.
Yeah. So there would be sandwich makings on the table. What is like the most nebbish like dork sandwich?
Anchovy sandwich.
It'd be like an anchovy and mayonnaise sandwich. So
it's like a pimento and anchovies.
There's it's pimento loaf and anchovy spread
with like chips in it.
Yeah. With like potato chips.
Yeah, like potato chips are in it. Because you want to get the crunch, you know?
But I feel like the potato chips would hurt Thirstwell's like weak gums. So Probably, yeah. Just like, because he's like the anemic dork of the family.
It's Monster Munch. You put Monster Munch in there.
So it's
That's
probably
the correct and northern thing to do.
It's probably like an anchovy paste sandwich. And
well, if there's any anchovy,
so there's a jar of anchovy paste.
I literally just put it in front of where the cat is, like, problem solved.
Okay, all right. Yeah, there's like a glass bottle of milk. There's a loaf of bread. There's a knife, a serrated knife, and like a butter knife that still has anchovy paste on it. And so you go over and you just put the jar next to the cat to try to distract it. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
When it wakes up, there will be anchovy paste right there for slobber chops. It's all good.
That's my favorite movie. There will be anchovy paste. So what's everybody else gonna do? Continue with your turns here. So Rhea is going to drag the body. So Rhea can go 15, and then she kind of gets like stuck here. This is corpse. So she drags it over there. Okay, Bryn, what are you doing?
Bryn will like grab the feet and then like pull it into the room, I think.
Yeah, so you want to kind of like step over and then
she'll lift the person
yeah
up.
you can just put him over your shoulder and throw him on a bed.
Enough strength, like she just like picks him up and puts him in the bed.
Okay, all right, cool. So that's, you were here, so that's 20.
Actually, instead of taking the one in the doorway, she'll probably take the one, like, instead of the one
step
outside,
over Fendrick and then throw him.
Yeah, she'll take the one that was
right, and then Rhea can finish her turn, and then okay, all right, and then November, you're gonna drag the body.
I'm trying to do the hotkeys thing, but I don't know how to do it. I
saw you doing it. You're
okay. Well, I'll get the body in here.
This is yeah. You can go
with my full movement.
You can go 30 feet. Yeah, which puts the body of Ambra body. They're people. They're alive still. The unconscious personage of Ambra right there. Okay.
I say unconscious body.
Stop giving them names. We don't care about them.
All right. So that's the sleep spell doesn't matter now because they're all unconscious. So we might as well, you throw the body on the body, you throw the person on there. What other precautions do you want to take? Is there anything else you want to do? They're all in the room, in their beds. Do you like pull the covers up over them? Do you tie them up and gag them and then pull the covers up? Like, what do you?
Here's my question, Adam. Does the door have a door handle like on the outside?
Yeah, we, like, jam it from the outside.
Yeah, I was literally gonna like, is there a heavy thing I can pull and like drag in front of
like we just put a chair in the door handle.
Yeah.
So there's no chairs in the kitchen because it's a kitchen.
There's little chairs, it looks like, in their little tiny room.
Yes. So this room has stools around a table. Yeah.
That'll still work.
Okay. All right. So Siravo, you hear from above, you hear a quiet voice go, "Hello? I asked for a sandwich. Did anybody hear me? I rang the bell."
Let's see. We don't really have time to wait until someone who can actually perform does this. So I'm going to, in my best approximation of a maid's voice,
oh no,
say, "I'm just scrubbing the floors. I've left it on the stairs for you. If you could come down and get it, but don't step on the wet floors. You'll make them dirty." And then, so that he doesn't come downstairs and mess anything up, I am going to cast the spell Silent Image. And I am going to create, in these sort of squares here, a maid cleaning the floor and like rubbing the banister and stuff, so that he only comes down part way, but he doesn't want to like she'd be in the way if he tried to get into the rest of the house, and she's just like busily working and not watching him or reacting to him. Okay?
All right. Okay.
Is that clear? My plan?
Yeah.
He can get the sandwich. He can reach the sandwich, but he can't get any further.
He can reach the sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he you hear some muttering upstairs. Make a performance or make a deception or a performance check, whichever.
Let's see.
You should have saved 15 for this.
I probably should have saved it.
Use one of the advantages.
Oh yeah, we got advantage. All right, sick. I will absolutely use that on a deception check. They're both only +1. So.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Here we go.
God, fingers crossed. Hey!
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad.
Okay.
Move around the corner so he can't see me when he looks down the stairs. He pokes his little head around. I'm basing all of his behaviors right now that I expect on like myself and what I would do in this situation. I'm like, I don't want to bother like a cleaner, like God forbid.
Yeah,
actually, like people in my house.
For reference, we have 13 more inspiration as a group. Adam has 1 and Miffles has 1. And then Bryn, you have 4 critical hits.
Cool. Sweet. All right.
Okay. So you hear so Siravo, you hear some more muttering, and then you hear in a slightly louder voice, you hear, "Oh dear. Well, I don't want to go downstairs. You go get my sandwich for me." And then you hear, "Sir, I've been instructed to guard the door." "Well, there won't be any point guarding the door if I die of hunger, will there?" "My lord, why don't you have the butler bring it up to you?" "But I want it now." And I'm going to roll persuade to see if Thirstwell can persuade this guard to go get him a sandwich. Let's see here.
I've changed my mind. I'd never be that demanding.
You forgot about entitlement.
Yeah,
let's see. Okay. All right. So you hear this like, "But I'm going to die of hunger." And the guard's like, "All right, you two stay up here and watch the door. I'm going to go get my lord's sandwich." And then you hear much heavier, like, and I think everyone in the kitchen too, because now you hear the guards moving. So you hear the slight rattling of armor, and you hear the like thunk, 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 thunk of boots on the floor above you, and and then you hear them. So you hear them coming towards the sandwich.
Yeah, let's just.
They're quickly approaching the sandwich. So meanwhile, Sathra, you've distracted the future cat. What do you want to do? You can hear these boots like thumping on the floor.
I mean, I think I need to wait until the sandwich situation resolves itself, and then we may continue to the basement. But I don't want to I move over towards the basement door. I'm like kind of there already, so I'll just stay where I am.
Okay. All right. And then what's everybody else doing?
I think Bryn will leave the room after everyone's gone. She takes one of the chairs. Would this be like the sort of door we could jam the handle with a chair on the outside?
So taking a look,
if not, she'll just rip the handle off the inside.
That's a good plan.
Taking a look at this door, you see that there is indeed a lock, but it's on the outside of the door.
Oh no!
Not on the inside. The servants have no way to lock their room from the interior. But there is a lock on the outside that you could lock.
That's really mean.
She locks them in.
You don't have the key, unfortunately, to lock the. This is the thing, right? Medieval locks aren't self-locking. You need to lock that with the key and then take the key out.
Does anyone any good with lockpicks?
So.
You could just break it. You could just shove a knife in there and try and.
I saw a really cool old timey lock. Somebody was talking about this on Twitter, where to lock it, to unlock the door, you put your key in, you turn it, and then you have to push the key through the lock and take it out the other side. And it's a lock designed to force people to lock the door behind them because they can't get their key back otherwise. They use them on old-timey apartment buildings so that if your neighbor forgets to lock the door, it doesn't endanger your apartment. Now they can't. They have to lock it and then push the key through to get it so that they can come back in later.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's cool, hey. So they're in the thing here. There is a key that would ostensibly lock this, but you don't know where it is. Bryn.
Yeah. Is there a handle on the inside?
Yeah, there'd be a handle on both sides.
Can you just break the handle off?
The handle.
Like, does the door latch? Is it like that sort of latching door? Would you have to like push something to unlatch it?
I feel like I need to know more about how medieval doors work. My assumption would be that the door, like, I don't know how modern the idea of a twist handle that retracts the latch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how modern that is. My assumption would be that there'd be something else to hold the door shut. But it might be built in. This is a noble's house though. So yeah, maybe it holds itself shut if you push it closed. It's a pretty fancy house.
What if they used magnets?
Because otherwise I would imagine it might be like some sort of latch that you would like padlock. That's what a lot of like.
Yeah, I think this is a punitive lock for sure. So you could I'm literally going to Google medieval locks. Yeah, you could close. I think you could close the door and put the lock into the loop. But would it be part of the door? Anyway, like, yeah, probably at the very least you can jam the door with the stool.
Cool. When do people invent?
We'll go with that. If it's like
go with that one, yeah.
Heavy. That the objective is make the door difficult to open from the inside. Whatever that seems like within her means, that is what she does. So like drag a heavy thing in front of the door.
I think in this case it's jamming the stool because it opens out and you can jam it in there. Cool. It means somebody else, if they see it, it'll be like clear that they've been locked in there and they'll come over and knock it over or take it out if they want to. But yeah, Rhea hears the footsteps and strides out into the kitchen, drawing her sword. She looks at Siravo like,
we're all like,
and she turns to you and she's like, but someone is coming. I'm going to have to dispatch them if they see us.
I like point toward the basement and I'm like, how about they just don't see us?
She nods at you like, clever, and puts her sword away. And then she,
the worst.
Yeah. So where did she started here. So she went 15 of there. So she's going to go.
Yeah. And I started here. So I've got. 5.
Yeah. So she just comes in here and she's like, good idea. We'll go downstairs.
Yeah. Okay. So that's where I can get to with my movement. I just go for the basement while the door is being locked.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then Bryn, you want to grab a stool, right? And jam it under the door.
Yeah, I think so. I like they'll probably stay unconscious the whole time, but I assume none of these large tables move.
No, they're like permanent like countertops rather than tables.
Cool. Yeah, make a lot of noise as well.
Yeah. No, so I figure.
Okay, so you jam a stool under the door. Okay. And then Siravo, you're gonna wait.
I'm going to maintain concentration on my spell.
Okay.
And hope it works and close this door behind me and move in to join the rest of them.
So
I don't have to see it to do anything.
Here's what you hear when you come around the corner and close the door, right? So let me put another door in the way here so you can't see back in the other room.
You hear the clattering of the plate as the guard takes the tumble down the stairs.
Fuck! No. So this guard, so here's what you hear. You hear booted footsteps, like thump, thump, thump. Then it stops. Then you hear the rattle of, you hear the rattle of a fork and knife because you know that Thirstwell Van Thamper eats his sandwiches with a knife and fork. So you hear the rattle of that, and then you hear like a, oh God, Thirstwell. And then there's a pause, and the guard doesn't immediately turn around and go upstairs. You hear instead, well, hey there, sweetheart. There's like a long pause. He's like, oh, come on. What are you, too good to have a conversation with me? You're not so busy with those floors.
I made the silent image make sure she had her AirPods in. So she has
that's not going to dissuade him. He's a man.
Oh, no!
So yeah, there's this like pause and she doesn't say anything, right? She's just like
I can move it.
Not if you can't see it, you can't, right? Like you can move it around, but you don't see what where it's moving to. So she might clip through a wall or
That's okay. It's okay. Thirstwell will solve this for us, I think. He's impatient enough that he might solve it. I don't know.
No, I definitely do not need line of sight. It is not
well,
specified.
so here's the thing. If you create an image of a creature and move it, you can alter the image so it appears to be walking, but if you're not looking at it, chances are pretty good she's going to clip through a wall or a banister.
I don't want her to move. I just want her to stand up, turn to him.
Yeah.
And give kind of like either like a oh God, how did humans interact? Give him like a frown and kind of like I'm busy, like point to the mop or whatever.
Oh, just have her shoot him with the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get you since you're doing this at a distance. I'm gonna make you make a roll. I think.
Okay.
Boy, like managing, you're pulling the strings of a puppet you can't see. So she might end up looking like if the camera is him, she might end up doing this.
Yeah.
Like at a wall.
No, that's totally.
I think it's just manipulating your own spell. So let's call it an Arcana check.
Okay. Let's roll that. My Arcana is pretty good. Should I use another one of the advantages? I kind of just want to burn through all the advantages as fast as possible.
Of your own.
Yeah, you have one of your own too.
Yeah, all right. Let's go.
Okay.
Woo!
18. All right.
18.
So you hear him say, "Oh, don't be like that. When do you get a break?" Oh, okay. All right. I get it. And so you hear him like turn around, and then we hear the thump, thump, thump as he goes back up the stairs. And then, muffled though it is, you hear through the floorboards, you hear, "Oh, my sandwich."
God.
And so Siravo was just standing there. He's like, "You have no idea how difficult this plan has been for me."
Bryn's like, "Good work," smacks you on the back.
Do you guys remember when we were talking about which Van Thamper we'd be? And I said Thirstwell. I'd still agree with that 100%.
My Doritos. Yeah, he's got a lot of very important Fortnite games he needs to win. Okay, he needs his energy. So you're gonna all kind of pile into this room. Is that the plan?
We're going.
Yeah, I think we're going downstairs.
All right, everybody get in here, and I will through the magic of virtual tabletop, I'll teleport you to the basement.
I'm imagining Nulf is just like outside in some alley, wagging his tail and like snapping at flies. It's wonderful.
All right.
Very safe distance.
Did everybody get into this room before I closed the door? Yeah, you did. Okay. All right. Come with me and you'll see. All right, I gotta go to another map. So let's take a look at the best part of every noble mansion, the part underneath it.
The basement part.
Yeah. All right. So who is leading the way down these stairs? Give me an order.
Was it Sothra who was in here first? You didn't move your token.
It doesn't matter to me. It's whoever goes down the stairs first.
Sure, it's me. Why not?
It was either you or me and Rhea.
Sathra and Bryn are gonna go. Like Bryn would definitely be either first or second.
Yeah, the two of us are first or second, and it's not really super important.
Okay, all right. I'll put you all at the bottom of the stairs, but some of you are still upstairs when this happens. So you begin to descend the stairs, and before I move you over to this other map, I gotta see if there's anything that you see as you come in.
Text.
No. I want to see if there's anything in the thing that would be like a surprise to you as soon as you come in, but I don't think so. Okay. Let me read the description and then I'll bring you over. 4
Can I
stone
be
pillars.
really awkward?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I have my cat with us as well, please? Because I can just pop him back under my hat now. I'm not invisible.
Of course. Where did we leave your cat?
Up in the top right. I'll put him on my square.
Oh, I got it. Okay, cool.
Sorry,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah, that's important to know where it is. Okay, all right. So as you come into the basement, let me get my box text again. I'll read it for you. You see, here you go. All right, here we go. 4 stone pillars brace the 10-foot-high vaulted ceiling of this dry cellar, the walls of which are lined by a dozen barrels on wooden braces. Half the barrels have brass spigots tapped into them. The room also contains 2 stacks of wooden crates, one in the middle of the room and another by the south wall. There is a door on the west wall and on the east wall of this room. So let me bring you downstairs. There we go. There you are, friends. You should be able to see yourselves right down here.
Yeah, I can now.
All right. So you come down into the room, dimly lit by your dark vision, and that's what you see. There are doors here and here.
Oh, I turned to Siravo. Did it look like this? Your vision, the memory.
From what you were saying, I don't think anything, like the details of anything, were distinct enough to make out the specific basement. Like, I'm afraid I couldn't say. It was just it was a remembrance of a thing. People don't put much stock in the details.
Bryn goes up to the door and like has a listen at it to see if.
Okay, so a few things happen. Before. Hang on a second.
Okay.
So.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Just it's important because of your familiar. So y'all come in and start kind of like looking around the room. I think probably the only person who will get to act on this first initiative order is Siravo, because Siravo, as you come down the stairs, your cat immediately begins like meowing angrily and hissing.
I'm really glad I bothered to resummon him now.
Yeah. So you hear just this, like, everybody hears this, and then like hissing sounds. So Siravo, you know that means that there is something invisible in the room. Let's all roll initiative. You'll find out what's invisible quite quickly, but Siravo, you'll have an opportunity to do something. So
do you want us to reset to where we were when we came in?
No, right here is perfect. They were waiting for you.
Is it clear? We get to add on?
Yes, yeah, go ahead and roll initiative. Yeah.
So bad at this.
God damn it, it's gonna be 2 full turns before I get to do anything.
Okay. All right. Well, that's okay. I got first initiative anyhow. So, you see, and I think these things just turn visible again when they attack. Let's see.
Unless it's improved invisibility for sure.
Yeah. And I gotta check on that.
Also, if the paladin needs the other person, Rhea.
Yes, Rhea.
That's like her name. If she needs light, I would have cast the light cantrip.
I don't think she would have mentioned it until you got into the darkness.
Okay. Was the top of the stairs dark? Because I feel like then she would.
There would have been light coming downstairs. So the thing is, she's in the back, so she's probably having the thought that she's having before the cat freaks is like, oh, it's kind of dark down there.
Cool.
That's
fine.
Okay, so
she's an adventurer. She carries a torch, hopefully.
I mean, I could also cast light, I think. Nope.
Yeah, and so I think these things they're hidden, not invisible. So they appear and then move in to attack you. So from the shadows, either hidden behind the pillars or in between some of the barrels, you see 3 spiny winged shapes emerge to attack you.
Are these fiends?
So
spined devils.
Yeah, you recognize them.
Yeah,
these look
look
like
the-
Emmeric's little friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
they
can see Lauren's like,
yeah. So they
paladin.
climb up and then like hiss and throw themselves at
Finally,
you.
my paladin features are useful here.
Their first attacks have advantage. And then they'll go from there. So
okay.
Haven't had a turn yet. Okay.
yeah. So here we go. All right. They get two attacks. The first of which is one with a bite and one with the tail. Okay. All right. So the first attack is going to be with advantage. Here's the one against Bryn. I get an 18.
That just hits.
Okay. 3 slashing.
Okay.
And then lash with the tail, which is a miss. Another attack on Bryn. This is the one with advantage. 17 is not enough.
Nope.
And same on Bryn. 7. Okay. And then advantage against Sathra.
Okay.
Okay. I got a 19.
That hits.
So 5 slashing.
Okay.
And then without advantage, I get a 6. Okay. So they appear, they leap out of the shadows and attack you and then screech and fly away. Now these things have they have an ability that means they don't fly. They don't take attacks of opportunity if they fly away.
Flyby.
Yeah, they got flyby. So they're gonna do that.
How high is the ceiling in this basement?
2 feet.
High enough for them to like. I mean, they're small, right? So they can fly around in the space.
Exactly.
How far did they
that's
move
what I
to
heard.
step on us?
They didn't move. They haven't moved. Basically, they start their turn here. That's what starts the fight. Then they get their turn. So they attack and then they move.
Right. So any movement that happens before the fight.
Yeah, it's not
doesn't
part
count.
of the fight. Yeah. Let me see here. So rooms, it looks like the tunnels down here are rooms have 10-foot high ceilings. There you go.
Okay.
10-foot high plaster ceilings. Okay. All right. So they attack and then they're going to scramble. Let me see their movement rate. It is 40. So they kind of like scatter. And the thing about the ceiling being the height that it is, they can't get high enough that you can't attack them. Like even if they fly into the corners. But yeah, they basically jump out, attack, and then fly back away from you.
Okay.
Okay. So November, you were surprised. So Siravo, you can do something this turn.
Okay. Look at all these pillars. Thunderwave down here. We could kill everyone.
Bring down the whole
down.
house.
Yeah. The Fan Thampers weren't killed by adventurers. They were killed by a cave-in of their home.
Since we're acting in the same initiative, I'll send Miffles over to do the aid action, and then I will shoot it with a chill touch.
Okay.
Advantage. If that's cool.
Yes. Now this thing is small enough that I think November, Bryn especially, 3 rows of barrels. I think it's going to give it like some amount of cover.
It's also 10 feet in the air, right?
No. There's no point in it going high up. They're flying around eye level.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
in
I
fact,
can't-
flying low makes more sense for them to avoid you. So yeah, he would be taking advantage of that cover. But if you want to move first and try to get a clearer shot.
Yeah, in which case, if these are quite high, I do remember you saying that actually. Can I just swap my target so I move to here and then like aim at this one?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll move Miffles over and attack that one on the left.
All right.
Chill touch. It's advantage. It's a 22, good.
Yes.
Okay. And I will deal 7 necrotic damage to it. And then
Of course, it wouldn't be cold damage.
Nope, that
That's
would make
not
too
what the
much
spell
sense.
is called. Okay. All right.
yeah, and then move back like near my companions over these little sacks.
All right. The spine devil lets out a shriek of anger as Siravo's chill touch grabs at its flesh and causes frost damage to it. Bryn, you are surprised by the sudden attack. Same with Sathra. All right, the spine devils get their first proper turn, and then we begin. So this spine devil is going to take a swipe at Miffles. What's Miffles' armor class?
12.
Okay, all right.
Miffles has an advantage that was given to Miffles that you can use to impose disadvantage on the attacker.
That's true. You can also save Miffles'.
I'm just
I mean, with
telling you
two,
that it's there.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. With 2 attacks and a 12 AC, if they attack Miffles disappears. It's fine.
Okay,
12
just
AC.
like someone donated for
So,
extra life for Miffles
Yeah.
to have
The-
advantage.
Miffles will do something really
The spine
awesome.
devil gets a crit
Good.
with
Miffles
a bite
disappears.
attack and deals 9 damage. Yeah, so is that what happens? Does it just like lunge for Miffles and Miffles just goes whoop and disappears?
I'm imagining the feeling of your ears when they pop.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So since it is Siravo's familiar, and because I don't like the idea of it taking damage, but I've said that like it's fine. It's a familiar. It can.
Yeah.
I think it retains enough like prescience into the future
Yeah.
that it knows when it's about to be like disappeared. So it just. Pops
I like
back.
the idea.
Oh,
Yeah, I like the idea that Miffles exists simultaneously both now and 5 seconds from now. And so it isn't even that that Miffles gets hit. It's that the devil opens its mouth to go and bite him, and Miffles is like, "Nope, I'm out," whoop, and disappears. Goes back to
I'll
the
still
Miffle
have to
dimension.
pay. I'll still have to pay the cost.
Yeah.
To get in that in this case.
Okay, so Miffles vanishes, and the spine devil, since it can only make 2 melee attacks or 2 missile attacks, it can't do 1 and 1. It just kind of looks at the empty space. Where did that cat go? I was gonna eat that cat. The other devils are going to fling. I'm gonna fling tail spines. So here comes Bryn. Here's 1.
Do the barrels provide Bryn with cover as well?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, if the devil's getting covered.
Well, the devil's small, but yeah.
Bryn is a giant
I got a
woman.
22. Yeah, I mean it's
That
they're
will.
up to your thighs anyway, so yeah, I think that'll do it even with the bonus. So you take 3 piercing and 6 fire.
Ugh.
So it
fire damage.
snaps its tail at you, and this spike flies out. The first one bounces off your armor. The second one digs in, and then boom, bursts into flame. Kind of like getting hit with a firework. So there's like fire bursting off of
It's-
it.
It's
Could
a
be
needler
necrotic,
gun.
no?
It's a
from
needler gun, yeah.
Halo.
Yeah. So yeah, it hits you and then bursts into flame. And then Sathra, 2 for you.
Yep.
Is the first one. Hang on, I gotta make sure it's gonna. So it moves up a little bit, fires, and then moves back, so it fires within normal range. Misses on the first one. Second one is a 13, also a miss. So
Also miss.
I
yeah.
imagine you just cut them out of the air as they go
Yeah,
flying towards you.
Just samurai style.
Yeah.
And you look
Oh,
super cool while you're doing it.
Okay, all right. I gotta roll. Hold on, I gotta roll initiative for Rhea. I keep wanting to call her Kaya. So she got a 13. So I think she shouts after this last batch of attacks. She's like, I guess she says it to you, Siravo. She's like, I haven't a torch. It's too dark to see. And I'm sorry. And she like draws her sword. She's like, I cannot see the foe, but I will do what I can. And she like strides out into the
Fucking
room,
Oh my
God.
like with her hand out, like, I'll help. Just point me at him.
Oh God, no.
Because she doesn't have a torch, right?
That doesn't have a torch.
She's like, I didn't expect to go spelunking today. Do you have anything?
I can help
Yes.
you. Just wait.
Take one out of my backpack.
Yeah. So if you turn, she'll spend her action digging through your backpack to get a torch. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I still had like the adventurous pack stuff.
So
I
that's what
deleted
she'll do
it
with her
off my
turn.
sheet.
She was gonna just go out into the room and just fight the darkness, but I will give her.
I mean,
give her
better
that.
you not use your action casting light. in
Yeah, I was curious. I was pulling it up to see if it was an action, but it's an
Okay.
Yeah, it takes a whole thing.
So the room illuminates, suddenly awash in color. Now most of the color is gray and brown, but it's color nonetheless. So you suddenly see this light and everybody's shadows. And November, it is your turn.
Okay. Well, I blink for not my whole turn. But because the light just popped out right next to me. Good on that. And then I am going to wait, let me see what one imposes disadvantage.
think these
Speed is
being
reduced on
imps,
that one.
whatever, are resistant to non-magical damage.
I highly doubt it.
You know,
Anyway,
I would say
60 feet.
yes, because fuck you. That's how
That's
I'm
fine.
going to put my money on it. I'll put 50 gold on it.
Okay, well,
right now.
first I'm going to attack them with magical damage. I will cast Frostbite
Okay.
on the imp in this corner here.
Which one?
No, the one here.
Up here? Okay.
Better.
All right.
It's a DC 13 Constitution save.
Okay. This particular creature has advantage on saving throws against spells.
Of course it does.
So it gets a 19.
Dave, you're probably right.
Okay,
It's a 19
then-
on the save.
Okay, then that doesn't do anything.
'Kay.
But with my bonus action, I will cast Healing Word on our paladin.
Oh, thank you.
Nice
Excellent.
one.
Okay.
And I roll a 1, so you get 4 health. But
Better-
it's
better than
not
nothing.
0.
Okay. Anything else for your turn, November? Do you want to move or are you good?
I don't know that. I guess I could probably move forward 1 to make it easier for like Rhea to go around now that there's
If you're
light.
also next to me, I can use my reaction to defend you.
Okay, well then I'll move forward 1.
All
Put
right.
my back to the door.
So then
and,
Rhea
like-
takes her turn to light a torch. And then Siravo, it's your turn.
Okay. I will move up again.
Okay.
Look at this one in the corner.
Mhm.
Scowl at it and try and zap him again. This time without advantage. Because Miffles is not here. Miffles is in the Miffles dimension.
The
Miffles.
catoverse.
Miffle space.
How's a 12? Does that hit?
12 is insufficient to strike this creature.
Okay. In which case, I will head back over. So
Okay.
that's it.
And for those watching at home, sometimes it takes Dave's dice results a little bit to get all the way from the United Kingdom to Canada, where they're stuck in customs right now. But I believe you, Dave.
yeah.
That's what you rolled. Okay.
Too bad.
All right. Bryn, it's your turn.
Bryn can't do shit from range.
Yeah, wait in there and beat them up.
So, but also she's the most hurt, and everything she can do is an action. So I think I'm gonna move up, and then I'm gonna lay on hands myself, and then I'm gonna assume Sathra is gonna move closer, so that if Sathra gets attacked, I can defend her. I
Okay.
think that's.
I'm just gonna refresh because I haven't seen the map update. So
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. I can get all the way up there. So she moves up to this, and then probably in a different order does lay on hands. She's like, "Come on, Bryn, get it together, girl."
yeah,
And we just see like the
Lay
the
hands on
gold
face.
handprint glisten on her face, and I'll lay on hands myself.
Okay.
For I'll do 5 hit points.
Nice.
And then she's in defensive position.
All right. Sathra, your turn.
oh, we're going after that one. All right, and like
Bryn's very focused. It's the one that's in front of her.
I'm up
Yeah,
here.
no
Oh,
problem.
I just damaged that.
I know.
But that one-
Trust me, I know.
I like it.
I am going to longsword this nerd with my pack.
Yeah. All right.
I would like to mention, of course, that my pack blade counts as magical damage in case it does matter.
Yeah, you hit it.
16
Okay.
for 12 damage.
Nice. All right. Yes. So you slash out with Dendar's fury and cut the creature. Its blood splatters on the wall and hisses there darkly. Clearly you've injured it.
Awesome.
Cool.
That's my turn.
All right. So Spiky here is going to attack Sathra.
Okay.
Now you have Bryn. You have a thing you can do. when
Yeah,
somebody
I'm
else-
gonna go
okay.
ahead and just use my reaction to impose disadvantage.
Okay, that's how it works.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's a creature I can see when it attacks someone within 5 feet of me.
Yeah. So it counterattacks Sathra. It lashes out, tries to bite, gets disadvantage. I get a 14.
Not enough.
Swings out with
Her
its
shield
tail.
front.
This one doesn't have disadvantage, but gets 14 anyway. And then it's going to fly over here.
Of course.
And Rhea lets out a yelp, but remembers to be quiet. She's like, like swinging your sword at it. This big wings and spikes just flying over there. And then this one, let's see, flies over and attacks Siravo. So Siravo, I'm gonna make a bite.
Sure thing.
I get a 10. And
That
then
is a miss.
the stabby fork. I get a 13. Okay.
Also miss.
And then this one.
Bryn's just like,
Let's see. So that one flew across the room. It'll attack Rhea. her armor class. Okay, miss. And then
Wait, which
attack.
one's attacking Rhea? The one that already attacked Sathra?
No, the little bottom. Oh, that's right. It already attacked and then it flew off. That's right. Ignore those. This one flies over, and I think we'll also go after Siravo.
What's giving Siravo such a high armor class?
Mage armor.
Mage armor.
Oh, do you have that up all the time?
Yeah, I just cast it at the beginning of the day and just take the spell slot off.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I got a hit.
Okay.
So it's a 16 for 3 piercing.
Okay, that's fine. Let me make a cons check for the spell I'm still concentrating on upstairs. The maid is still there.
Perfect. She flickers slightly and skips some frames, but she's all right. Okay.
It was 3 damage, you said, yeah?
It was, yes. Okay, November, your turn. There are scary imp creatures. I guess we've seen these. I have a handout.
Yeah,
we
spine
saw
devils
them
we've
before.
seen.
In the boat place. I am going to grow some icicle claws and slash at it.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
So that's a 24 to hit. I'm assuming that hits.
Yes.
I deal 3 acid damage to the one in front of me.
Okay. Cool.
And I'm probably gonna stay here. I don't think I want to use another spell. Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out and like be like, stop, no.
Okay, sure.
That's my turn.
All right. Rhea will take a swing. And she's got one-handed longsword now. And she gets one swing at the one in front of her.
These Outrider swords better be silvered, otherwise they are the most trash devil hunters.
She got a 15. So she hits. And she deals 5 damage. Okay.
Seeing her sword, is it silver?
No, it's just a sword. It's just a longsword.
Okay, I'm still trying to work out if they have damage resistance or not.
Yeah, so she slashes at it, and you hear her like snarling and grunting. It is your turn, so Siravo, what would you like to do?
God, not having a melee damage cantrip, it's hurting my soul. But I was like, I'll take 2 flavor ones. God,
Yeah.
I think my best bet in melee is isn't my dagger? No, surely it isn't. But yeah, no, it is. I'll try and. No, it isn't. I still think they have damage resistance. I will cast Chill Touch at disadvantage.
Okay.
Have I been able to track which one I was shooting? Like as it flew towards me and stuff? I had to reload.
It's the one in front of you.
This one is the most beat up.
Okay.
But that's not the one you were attacking. That's this one.
All right. I'll take the one that's most beat up. Sorry,
Okay.
while you were moving things around, I was reloading the page.
Yeah, it's okay. I just put all the demons under cups and just slid them around.
Yeah. I guess a 9's going to miss.
It is a miss, yep. Yeah.
Okay. And I will also stay there and like, wave my magic.
All right, Bryn. The thing you ran over here to fight flew across the room.
She exasperatedly sighs and then
Oh, it's like the presidential fitness test, but for paladins. You just chase an imp back and forth across the gymnasium.
She goes back. Now she can also protect November, and pulls out her axe with one hand and smacks at this spiny devil right in front of her. We'll find out if it does or does not.
She's a witch. Get an axe.
She smite, it'll do damage.
14.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Oh, nice. Okay. For 6 slashing damage.
Okay.
Does it appear to hurt it?
Somewhat. You might say that it's resistant to the damage.
That's fine. It's cool. Great.
It resists being hurt by your axe. Yeah. So yeah, you run over and you're like, hey, get away from my friend. You grab the thing by the shoulder and slam the axe into its chest, and it snarls and flails its tail around.
These because they nearly killed Jewel
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
you doing a smite? Are you doing a smite on him because he's a friend?
I was not planning on doing a spite with that.
Sathra?
I guess I do the same thing. I hoof my way back across the room.
Yeah.
And then I attack this spiny devil because
Okay.
I can't reach another one if I want to attack. So
Sounds good. Woo!
hey,
There you go.
There it is.
That's
Cut
big
it.
money.
Good fucking starting.
I mean, it's enough. It's enough. So you slash out your sword, crackling with like green black energy. You cut right through the thing like an anime villain. It separates diagonally and then immediately in a burst of sulfurous flame disappears.
Hell yes.
Excellent work.
That's my turn.
All right. The two remaining devils will make some attacks and then they'll fly across the room. So we'll start with Siravo.
Sorry, I can't defend you.
I got a 16.
That's fine. 16 hits. Yeah.
Okay, 5 slashing damage. And a constitution save, I guess.
5 damage.
For the maid.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Still up.
And then a stab with the pitchfork for another 2 damage.
It's a pitchfork.
Yeah, they have little forks.
Oh, that's
I'm not
cute.
sure. I couldn't find
Stabbing
the art for them, but I think it shows them in the art. Yeah, here we
The
go.
maid disappears.
Look at the cool
yeah.
look at the cool pitchfork. Stab. Okay.
It's like a small pitchfork because they're small.
Just little ones. Like if you
Yeah,
just
little,
it's like
little.
like one of those like
a
cocktail
fork.
weenie forks. Yeah,
Yeah.
those
An
little like
actual
tiny-
fork. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's the first one, and then it moves. So it's gonna fly
Don't fucking
over there.
No.
Flies past you. And then this one,
Ugh.
I think probably it's gonna fly. Here we go. It'll fly 20 feet over here. And as it moves, it's gonna whip 2 of its spikes at Siravo.
Why do you keep tracking Siravo?
Because they're the spellcaster. They're the ones casting spells.
In fact,
So
no one's going to get attacked 4 times. I would use the shield.
Not the magic sword.
I got a 15. They're
15
afraid of
hits
you,
as well.
Sathra. The 15 hits.
Yeah.
5 fire damage and 3 piercing.
I know what I'm doing next turn.
And then the second spine, I got a 17.
Didn't give me enough time. I wanted to substitute it.
Do you want to just substitute that one because you're weak enough? If you want to use it, that's okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
It
that
instead rolls a 6.
yeah. So first of all, you see the devil, and it, in slow mo as it flies away, it turns and whips its tail back at you. The first one hits you, bursts into flames. The second one hits you, bursts into flames. You fall back against the wall and slump down unconscious. And then you blink once hard and snap back to actual reality and just move slightly and it hits the wall and blows up. That second one.
I do the thing where it shoots at my hat and it goes into it, and I like do the duck thing and then I go whoop and put it down afterwards.
Right, it hits between the wall, the hat and your head hits the wall and you yank your hat
Yep.
down. Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the that's my oh yeah, and then he finishes the move. So he's here, 10, it's another 30 feet. So he's gonna fly. Yeah, back corner there. Okay, all right. November.
Well, that was a lot that happened in that turn. I am going to step forward until I can see. There
Oh, yeah,
we
and
go.
the devil's like body's just gone completely.
Got a good line of sight on that one.
Yep.
In the back corner of the room, and I'm going to use it has advantage against the saving throw. when
Yes,
is
it has.
classified.
These things have advantage against magic saving throws.
So I guess I'll just do an attack roll.
They're just like me.
I get an 8 for Ray of Frost, so that doesn't do
Nope.
anything.
Zoom.
And then I'm probably just gonna look back at Siravo and be like, "Stay back," because I think that we can hold the line fairly
Okay.
well.
Rhea, of course, rushes forward to attack. So she runs in between the two of you, vaults over this bag of garbage, right? So she's gonna go 10 over there. Can't quite make it, so just throws herself at these demons, ready to attack. All right. So Siravo, your turn. Like she's going full Aragorn, right? She's swinging the torch like back fiends.
Yeah.
I mean, it's earnest, but still attractive.
She's lawful good. What are you gonna do?
Is it really though? Because she's not doing anything.
So Siravo, it is your
trying.
turn.
Okay.
Move up a little bit.
Play acting the hero is very different from being the hero.
I like the idea that the two of you are just having this conversation, like shoulder to shoulder, like.
Yeah, we're just November and
Sathra, you catch November making goo eyes. You're like, no, honey.
I'm just imagining trying to like make goo eyes when your eyes look like the like glazed over frozen eyeballs of a corpse.
Listen, not everybody makes a sexy face in the same way. So Siravo, what are you gonna do with your turn?
Yep, I have moved up and I am going to chill touch the one that I have full vision of.
Hell yeah, do it. Grab that devil. That's a hit.
Has a 13.
Yeah, you got
nice. We will deal 6 points of necrotic damage to it.
Nice. Good. Okay, cool.
And then I will use the rest of my movement to... actually, are these boxes here? I'm going to...
Yes.
Try and hide behind one of the boxes.
Yeah, you can't actually take the hide action yet, but you can run over there. Yep. Okay, yeah. Bryn.
Siravo, I can protect you if you're next to me. Also, all of my healing is touch.
Told me to get back. I'm doing it.
Bryn, once again, seeing the things she's trying to do move away from her. She's like, okay. And she's going to step back to here to Siravo.
No, kill him. I'll be fine.
I'm gonna heal. Cure wounds you.
You need healing. No. I love it. Okay.
I think because lay on hands I get back after a short rest or long rest. I have so many things that I get them back at different times. Long rests. Okay. Everything's fucking long rests. So I'm gonna use cure wounds. So I'll actually use a spell slot.
Okay.
And I'm going to heal you.
Come here. You're getting healing whether you like it or not.
8 points. She like,
Mom. Mom.
Siravo.
Right. I mean, this is exactly like Siravo trying to bathe their cat. Like, you're stinky familiar. You need to have a bath.
Honey, you don't look so good. And she grabs your arm and we see the golden handprint.
Yeah.
As she uses up one of her spell slots.
Okay.
That is my action.
All right. Sathra.
But now I can defend you.
I sprint across the room to cut up these demons.
Okay.
So that's 5, 10, 15, 20. I can get to here. But I don't. Which of the demons is more injured, Adam?
The one in the corner. The one Rhea.
Cool. I move here then, and I hit that one.
Now if you want to vault, you can vault the boxes. I think these are low enough that
I didn't actually cross them.
Yeah, and actually you don't have to cross them anyway. So yeah. Either way would have been fine. Okay, all right, yeah, you run up and...
So I move to here and I swing my longsword. 15.
That's a hit.
9 damage.
Hell yeah, toast another one. Yeah, turn it to ash. Sword goes right through it.
Finally, the weapons are working out.
Rhea,
imagine if you
Sathra, make an insight check real quick.
Eggs.
Yeah, it would smell really bad. Yeah, but only briefly.
You want me to make an insight check?
Yes, please. Okay. Just make an insight check real quick.
Insight. 17.
Nice. Rhea is looking at you with a mixture of like not approval, but like admiration at your ability to fight, but also disapproval,
absolute disgust at my weapon choice.
You can see her trying to gauge whether or not you are worth like she fights well and fights alongside me, but also there's something evil about her. If I were a real paladin, I might be able to tell.
Really evil.
Yeah, so that's she's looking at you like Boromir looked at the ring, like I want you, but I'm afraid of you.
I'm looking forward to her deciding to do something like Boromir, and getting a very different.
Well, so this question: do you give her a look like, yeah?
Yeah, I like meet her eyes for a second as I turn to this other spiny devil, and there's like that snake like intimidation in a glance.
Why don't we have you make an intimidate check?
Sure. 17.
She looks away quickly as if the first thing she could think of to do would be like, just pretend like I wasn't looking at her. Like she looks away, like looks at the imp, like I was focused on this guy. I was just looking at you for a second.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of whom, old Spiny here is continuing to cackle and fly around the room.
Fucking goddamn it.
So let me see. So he's here. So he'll go. He's trying to get within 20 feet of Siravo. All right, so he flies over here, flings tail spikes at Siravo. And I will give you cover because you got boxes and a big person in front of you. So here's the first one and the second one, neither of which hit.
Whew.
And then, realizing he's all alone, flies for the stairs. All right, November.
Well, let's hope I can interrupt this flight. I'm gonna probably get right there and right next to him within 5 feet.
Yeah.
And I'm going to probably grow my icicle claws again.
That seems like a good one. Yeah.
And I'm gonna use one of the advantages here. I get a 24.
Hot damn, nice work.
Oh, nice.
So it deals 5 acid damage.
Okay. All right, it's still alive. It's wounded, but it's still fighting.
Maybe I should have grappled it instead, but that's all I've got.
That's cool.
So under her breath, Rhea says, you hear her say, "God, damnable creature, stay still." She vaults back over the box and runs over to try to help. Okay, so Siravo, it's your turn.
Right. We don't want this thing escaping and warning everybody upstairs.
We definitely do not.
No.
So I will cast Magic Missile.
Nice.
I might as well roll all 3 because there's
only one target.
Secondary targets.
Yeah. You're like, I kill it in 2. I got to do something with this missile. I hit Bryn. All right,
so it takes a total of 9 more damage.
2, 5, another 2. The thing is badly beaten. Like it's almost dead. You can see the spots where the magical force are like tearing it apart. It's like ash is drifting off it as hell attempts to reclaim its own, but it's still got a little bit of fighting spirit in it. Bryn, you wanna maybe close this chapter?
Yeah, I'm gonna step in.
Okay.
No.
You can run up at it. You can back up to the wall and then run at it. Okay.
Yeah, she backs up. She comes in with her axe. I'm gonna should I use an advantage or should I just straight up crit this?
Your choice.
I would
The
say
advantage should
an
be
advantage.
It's
Okay,
pretty
I'm gonna
badly
use-
beaten, and they don't seem to have much. Yeah,
because
they
I can
don't seem
always
much in the way
decide
to
to channel divinity if it doesn't
Yeah.
die.
True.
So
I think you have to decide before the damage.
Decide before you roll damage, but yeah,
do I have to decide? Before
I think
I
so.
roll?
You
Yeah.
you
Oh,
swing, you hit,
Okay.
and then it's all rolled as 1 damage pool.
But yes, you can
That's
use
for
the
smite.
advantage.
Yes,
I will-
that's what I was
will
talking
roll
about.
An advantage 20.
Nice, you hit it.
I'm not using a magical weapon.
Yeah.
Sather will not be able to get there in
So
time.
I can
whatever.
Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, so Sathra has a chance to Eldritch Blast before you go, but go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, then I'm not going to use channel divinity on this.
No
'cause
need.
I still feel like we're gonna, or I feel like we're gonna have another fight for 5 slashing.
That's enough. You kill it.
Yeah.
I feel so much that we're gonna have another fight that I don't want to like burn
Yeah,
up
totally.
the like 3 spell slots.
This is the other bit, the like carefully managing your resources, knowing how deep into the dungeon you're going to be going. Yeah. So you run over, you slash out with your sword, you cut through the demon, and you finish the job that Siravo was working on with those magic missiles, and the thing blows away. Rhea turns to you and says quietly, looking up, "Do you think they heard?" And we cut to upstairs on the second floor. We see a hallway we haven't seen before. And in it, we can see a banister, right? It leads downstairs. We see a door. And on the door, someone has written in like chalk, "Keep out." And then there are 3 House Van Thamper guards standing, one on either side of the door and one across from the door, all guarding Thirstwell's room. And inside, we cut to Thirstwell, who is sitting on his bed, right? Legs folded up under him, sitting on his bed. And he's got a plate with a half-eaten anchovy paste sandwich. And in his hands, he has a brass and ivory, like a puzzle box. And he's turning it over in his hands and squinting at it and like pushing on it and obviously trying to open it. And then he's like, blast, I'm never going to get this stupid box. And he flings it against the wall. And we hear like thunk, thunk as it hits the wall. So the guards kind of like look at each other like, shrug, go back to their business. And I think we'll take a break there. And when we come back, we'll see what else is going on in this Van Thamper basement. I'm excited. I'm excited to see this next bit. This should be good. Stick around, everybody. We will be right back with more Roll20 Presents Descent into Avernus.